Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about dividend income, and I'm going to show you how you can actually create a $1,000 per month dividend income stream. All right guys, so if you're new to the channel, feel free to like and subscribe. On this channel we like to talk about money. We love to talk about investing. We like to talk about how you can use your money, use wisdom, and be able to succeed from wherever you are financially. Okay guys, so let's get right into it. So with dividends, let's understand what a dividend is first. So if you work a job and you have a 401k, you understand your 401k gives you, like kind of like a profit share, right? So if you happen to own a piece of a company, like a share, right? Whether it's one share or even if it's a fraction of a share, the company will pay you out based off of how many shares you have. So if the company that you're invested in, you have one share and your dividend pays out 50 cents every 3 months, then you're going to get 50 cents every 3 months for owning that one share. So it's kind of like if you own a business, right? So if you own a business or own a company and there's 10 owners and everybody owns different percentages within that company, when it comes time to profit, how to pay out, how that money is paid out to those owners, that money is paid out based off of ownership. Whoever has the most percentage will definitely get the most money. Whoever has fractional percentages of the company or a smaller percentage of the company, they get paid out that whole number that is actually being paid out to the owners. So if you have 10 owners and there's, $100 that's being paid out and one owner owns 50%, then that owner is going to get $50, right? Make sense? I guess you understand. All right, cool. So basically there's no difference when it concerns dividends. Now dividends are actually a way for you to be able to create more money, right? So your money continues to make money, especially if you're doing things like reinvesting it, but we'll talk about that later. So now with dividends and how things work with dividend income, virtually most companies don't pay out like a percentage or a dividend yield every single month. Most that pay out dividends, they pay out at the rate of anywhere from once a year to twice a year to 3 times a year to 4 times a year. And yes, there are some companies, not a whole lot, but you do have some where they do pay out a dividend every single month. But that's not the majority. Most of them you'll see they pay out like anywhere from like 3 to 4 times out of the year. So how do you get to being able to create a dividend income stream that's like $1,000 per month? So $1,000 per month is basically $12,000 a year. Now, if we divide that by 4, then we're going to get $3,000 every 4 months. Now, if we divide 12,000 by 4, we're going to get basically a 3-month quarter. So then basically what that means is you would need $3,000 every single 3 months, right? And that's kind of how you would break it down to getting that type of $1,000 per month dividend. So for this example, I'm going to use AT&T because AT&T has a very small price. It's about $30, $29 a share, and it has a dividend of 50 cents or 52 to be exact right now. So we know 50 cents is basically half a dollar, right? So in order to create $3,000 every 3 months, that means you're going to need 6,000 shares of AT&T. So let's look at the math. All right, so if one share of AT&T will bring you 50 cents per share, then if you had 10 shares of AT&T, it's going to bring you $5 per share. And that's going to be paid out every 3 months. So if you have 6,000 shares of AT&T, that's going to pay you out 50 cents every time it pays its dividend, and AT&T pays their dividend every 3 months, then basically you're going to end up with $3,000 every 3 months. So now 6,000 shares of AT&T, but how much money is that exactly? Well, 6,000 shares of AT&T would be $175,000 if we're using just a round number like 29. So $29 a share times 6,000, that gives you $174,000. So yes, you need $174,000 to be able to create a portfolio that's going to pay out $12,000 per year. Now, some of you watching this may say, man, that seems like a whole lot of money, but let's kind of put it in perspective. We're not talking about building it this year, but what if you built it over the course of the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Or let's say, as well as you're looking to retire, let's say you have 30 years to retire, and you're looking to retire, you also have your 401k if you work a regular job. And then basically what you also can do is you can also start to create a budget to where you're investing into a company or a portfolio every single month, just like you do, or every single time you get paid. you invest money into this company, what's happening is your money is going to be generating more money. Or let's say you have a business and your business is doing very well, then it's time to be more diligent, and you can literally put money to the side every time that you get paid. So all it really will take is you being able to give yourself a goal and then give yourself a budget. So like every time you get paid or every single month, just being able to put money to the side, as well as if you're open to generating more income and having side hustles or starting a business and things like that will help you to gain more income, it's very possible. But let's just look at it over the course of someone that's working for, let's say, just 20 years, for example. So if you work for 20 years and you make $50,000 a year, in 10 years you would have made $500,000. Yes, I know most of that goes up to bills, but just hold on, just listen to what I'm saying. So if you worked 20 years and you were making $50,000 a year, you're gonna make $1 million total. So in 20 years, you would have made $1 million. And for a lot of people, they may not recognize that when you're working and you're actively getting some type of income, you're really making some money. And over the span of some time, that money can be a lot. Now the catch is what you do with it. But then let's just take a look at it, for example. So if AT&T is $29 per share. Now, by no means am I telling you to go invest in AT&T. I'm just using them for example. But if AT&T is $29 per share, I want you to take a look at this and I want you to see exactly how you spend your money. So let's say, for example, every time that you get paid, can you say that you possibly may spend $29 on stuff that you may not necessarily need? Maybe going out to eat, maybe doing something that you really don't have to do? Or could you say that you possibly are spending maybe $100 or $200 or maybe $300, in a month, or even more of money that you don't necessarily have to spend, but you just spend it because it's one of those days you just go out and spend money just because. What if you took that money and you started to invest it, right? So the catch is being able to actually create some type of habit and some type of system and some type of discipline to where you're going to be investing consistently. Now, the other great thing about investing into the stock market or into stocks or ETFs or funds, index funds, things like that, is you can have your dividends reinvested back into the actual stock itself. So basically it's some form of compounding interest. So basically your money is now buying back more of the stock. And so it's basically kind of duplicating itself. And the more of the stock that you buy, you get dividends from that. So if you own a fraction of a share, if you don't own the whole share, let's say you own a half of AT&T share, then you won't get 50 cents, but you get 25 cents. So what happens is through time, that interest or that dividend starts to compound and it starts to build on top of itself, starting to kind of duplicate and grow your money on its own. And once again, you may say, is it possible? Yes, it's very possible. There's a lot of people who actually have created portfolios where they can live off the dividend. And so let's take a look at what happens even when you get your tax return. When you get your tax return, what do you normally do with that money? So the whole goal about being able to create a dividend income is just starting from where you are, starting from zero, and just being consistent in building, and also finding out more dividend companies that you can invest in. Because AT&T is just an example. There are more companies that pay out more money in dividends, and for some of them, yes, it's a little bit more pricey. As well as you have things like with the stock growth, you have things like far as even when the company grows, sometimes they continue to grow their dividend as well, and their dividend increases every single year. So it's like a person you see that wins the lottery. A lot of times you see people win the lottery, they end up just spending their money. The average person that wins the lottery goes back broke 3 to 5 years, and the reason is because they're not good with money. So, when you get a whole bunch of money, you're not good with it, you ask somebody what you're going to do with it. A lot of times they'll say, well, I'm going to take care of it, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to invest, I'm going to do this. Well, they really don't know. And so what happens is, say if someone wins the lottery, for example, they could easily set up a system or set up a portfolio to where they're making a certain amount of income per month. Now, like I just said, $1,000 per month with AT&T, or basically $3,000 per quarter with AT&T, would be $175,000. So what if you multiply that times 10, right? So if someone wins this mega million and they win $50 million or $100 million and they get back $50 million out of $100 million, they can easily take $2 or $3 million and put it within some good dividend companies, and it would generate them $3, $4, $5, and even $10,000 in dividend easily. And we're talking about per month, right? So you're talking about if it's per quarter, it could be $30,000 in dividends every single month. And that could be set up every single month, and it will continue to grow year after year, day after day, month after month, whatever. So sometimes it's simply about having a strategy and creating a discipline. Is it easy for everyone to do that? No, it's not. However, you got to be okay with starting where you are. So if you're able to build a portfolio to where you're getting $50 extra each year, that's great. Don't be mad about that. Or if you're getting $10 every single year, hey, that's great. It's a good start. But that's the concept of constantly building. So it's just simply about putting a strategy in place. And yes, it's also possible that you may need to find more ways to make money, because making money and making extra money and more money, if it's a business or even if it was going for a different position in your job or changing careers or whatever it is, those things can help you to build that type of wealth or that type of stream. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to show you exactly how much it would be if you were looking to create this dividend income portfolio. You hear people talk about creating, a dividend income, and a lot of times people don't know, well, what does it take to build a dividend income? But hey guys, stick around, because I'm actually going to create another video to show you how you can actually create a dividend portfolio. That way you can almost get paid dividends every single month. It's just a strategy that I stumbled upon. All right guys, I'll talk to you soon. You guys be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.